Cool. Welcome back, Fun Fam. And if you're brand new to the channel, welcome in to Follow the Bradley's Fun. My name is Ron E. Bradley, and you are watching The Daily Dish with me, your host, yours truly, Ronnie Bradley. and I hope wherever you are, you're having a phenomenal day, morning, afternoon, evening, middle of the night, whenever you happen to be watching. As of the recording and live streaming of this, today is the 26th day of June, the year 2025. And time she is a moving on, as they say. I guess it's time she never stops. So good morning to everybody who is coming in the door right now. I think people are still getting used to the 9 a.m. time slot. I know I am. That's one of the reasons I wasn't here yesterday. So it's getting myself up early and prepping for the show and getting ready to do this, and then putting out shorts that get a million hits. That's unexpectedly, of course. But yeah, I wasn't boy, I tell you what, I have been praying a lot. By the way, if you're watching the show, please give us the thumbs up, give us the like. If you haven't already, please do hit that like button. Share this out on your social medias. Let's get this out to as many people as possible. Let's build this audience up to 50 and 100 and 200 and so forth. Because I'm looking to do some things to help revamp the show. Plus, this is the lead into Culture Casino, and we want to bless him with a good audience going into that, as well as that on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Boy, what a lineup we have on Tuesdays and Thursdays here at That Park Place Network. We've got I start off the day right now. That could change. Possibly. But right now I've got me starting off the day, and then we have Culture Casino, 6-minute daily. That Park Place at 11 o'clock leads into WDW Pro Show, and at least on Tuesdays is T3PO, and I'm not sure what happens on Thursdays, but I'm also looking forward to potentially doing a Monday evening show. Would you guys like an evening show? Who would be up for having a show in the evenings? I'm looking at possibly 8 to 10 p.m. on Monday nights. Yeah, you do have a full mod there, Tom. But yeah, possibly 8 to 10 p.m. on Monday nights, in which it seems that is probably easier to get a panel in the evenings than it is in the mornings. A lot of people have day jobs and stuff and different things that they do. So, of course, this is my day job and my night job and my seems like 24-hour a day job as far as YouTube is concerned, because I am if I'm not on the screen, I'm doing the on Monday nights. Yeah, of course. I'm not sure who all I will be inviting to the Monday night panels, but probably as many people. I don't really know what we're doing yet. I've got to get myself to be able to stay up that late. So typically, in order to get me up this early, I have to be asleep by like 9-10 o'clock at night. As a matter of fact, I looked at my messages this morning, and at 10:01 p.m. I was already asleep last night. But at 10:01 p.m. apparently Pro messaged me and wanted me to be on the late night Pro show, and it's those 10 p.m. shows. Sometimes they're hard. If I would have gotten the invitation just a little bit earlier, I probably would have stayed up for it. But solar panel. You want a solar panel? I don't know what. Oh, a solar panel invite. Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, no, not that kind of a panel. Not that kind of, better, Tom. It's not that kind of a panel. What are you talking about? Anyhow. So yeah, so the show, there's a lot of things. Doing live shows, all of YouTube, gosh, it's such a learning curve. Especially, I will say this, vlogs in some ways, they're the easiest to do, but they take a long time to put together. And if you want to do 4K vlogs, they really take a long time to put together, to upload and to edit and to do it all right. And if you're making money and you can pay somebody else to do all that other stuff for you, that's great. I am not at that point yet, but We are working on it desperately because this is my full-time job, and therefore, as quickly as possible, I have to get to full-time income. So anything that you can watch on the channel, anything that goes out, watch it again, put a playlist on in the background from the channel. You guys are the soul of this channel. You guys are the ones I do this for. So any help, boy, I do not need a Cybertruck. I'm not getting a Cybertruck. I've been in one. I have been a passenger in a Cybertruck, and they're not bad. They're kind of nice, roomy to run around in, but not something that I would want because I don't like the idea of running my car off of electricity. And I don't like the idea that somebody through a satellite can stop my car at any time they want to, which is the possibility with a Tesla. So yeah, and it's true. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for being here this morning, waking me up, helping be the energon that gets my day going, just like the Transformers of old had their energon, their energy. You give me the energon I need to get this guy to transform and roll out of bed to be here with you in the morning.
A toast, Autobots. Boy, these are good. I needed to refuel. Energy! This stuff's the greatest!
Energy from Venezuela. Oh my gosh. How's everybody out in the chat doing? Let me know in the chat. How are you doing this morning? How are you feeling this morning? And are you sharing this out on your social medias and inviting a friend, a neighbor, a brother, a sister, a mother, a father, a son, a daughter to watch with you on their separate device? Yes, indeedy do. Let's start saying hi to everybody that's in the chat. My mom was first to come in this morning, and she says, "Good morning." Hi, Mom. Glad you're watching. Always good to have the support of your parents helping out there. Jill Powers, the River Daughter, says, "Good morning, Ron." And Andy W. says, "Good morning. Another fun day." Tom F., our great mod, the great wrench of all of that Park Place, says, "Hey, all." And we got people saying hi back and forth to each other. Dan's Life at the Kingdom says, "Good morning, Ron and the chat." Let's see who else is here in the chat this morning. We have Tom and everybody saying, "Yes, need energy from the parent." See, I can't do this anymore. I can't. I don't have it in me to be able to do that. I need my 8 hours of sleep, at least 7, if not 8 hours of sleep. I gotta have it. I absolutely have to have it. Can't function without it. Tanner Stanley says, "Hello, everyone." Hello, Tanner and DW. Life is good, man. Life is good. Yes, it is. Life is definitely good. And Jill saying hi to my mom. I appreciate that. Guys, thank you so much for being here today. I also have to let you know about something that we have going on right now. Yes, I'm the same. Get up very early and go to bed very early. And doing the YouTube thing, that's not always easy because somebody may need you later in the evening, or there may be some function going on late at night I might have to cover. So it's always a challenge because we sleep better when we stay in routine. That is science. It's not me saying that as an opinion. It's actually a fact, and a scientific fact, that if we maintain the exact same routine day by day, we actually sleep better. Human beings are creatures of routine. So sometimes we have to adjust the routine, but routine is incredibly important to our functionality as humans. A routine, a schedule, and that has been one of the biggest challenges of doing YouTube. In fact, is trying to figure out a schedule, a routine. Good day to you all. Good day, Kaladin 910. Especially when I don't exactly know how long certain things are going to take. I don't know how long exactly editing is going to take for one particular video, for example. For a vlog video, editing can take days. If I'm taking the Daily Dish, I'm taking a news story out of the Daily Dish, it might not take nearly as long. It might take an hour and a half to 2 hours to edit that. Yes, I am well versed in a lot more science than I usually let people know about. When it comes to that, there's a lot of things that I don't always let people know about me. A lot more than an entertainer. Every day, knock off at 3 to 4 p.m. Husband gets the controller after that. There you go. That's our deal. There you go. That's a good deal. Kaladin 910. So we're going to get this on the screen. We've got something special going on our spread shop right now. And I'm thinking that I probably, I want to get some, I need to get some stuff up on the spread shop that are patriotic, Happy 4th of July, Independence Day stuff, America First type stuff. I definitely want to get some patriotic things up there. But right now, here's what we got. 20% off. Everything across the board right now. It's 20% off. So the Make Disney Walt Again merchandise is there. The fedora finds. What is under the hat? What is under that fedora hat? What are the fedora finds? Let's see what the fedora finds. Okay, and then we've got our, of course, family merch right here. That is the Follow the Bradley Fun family channel logo on the back of that. Helps me out a lot if you purchase it, because if you go to this and you see you're wearing this around the parks, you're wearing this around wherever you go, and people can scan the back and subscribe to the channel that way. So there we go. So there was that. If anybody buys anything during the course of the show, please let me know, because we want to celebrate that along with the other celebrations. Now, those of you that are familiar with the show, some people might be watching this on the replay. We don't exactly know what we do. And if you're watching this on the replay, we invite you to come in and watch, during our regular time slot in the morning at 9 a.m. But we like to celebrate. We celebrate all of you, because you're the juice, you're the gigawatts, you're the energon that gets us going here. You're the greatest audience on YouTube. You know that. And we love to celebrate you and celebrate with you. And so anytime anybody donates anything to the channel, anytime there is support from you all, financial support for this channel, whether that be a super chat, super sticker, super thanks, or there's PayPal, buy me coffee, there's a member milestone chat, somebody becomes a member of the channel, or somebody drops memberships or buy something from the spread shop, any of that during the show, we're going to celebrate it, and we want you to celebrate with us. When we do the celebration, if you're a member of the channel, we got custom emojis that you can throw down in the chat. If you're not a member of the channel, fireworks emojis work really well, dance emojis, anything of that sort. What does a celebration look like when we throw down a celebration? Well, the celebration, and get ready to celebrate with us right now with the emojis. A celebration is going to look something a little bit like this. That's right. That's what our celebrations looky like. Andy W with coming in hot with the member emojis. Did you put down all of them? I'm trying to see. Dan's Life of the Kingdom's got Pee Wee. I'm a loner, Dottie. I'm a rebel. I love Pee Wee Herman. Hey, good morning. Equus Heart is here. Hello, dear. How are you doing? Good to see you in the chat. Thank you for coming in, Equus Heart. I was watching last night. There's Jill coming in with the celebration. I was watching last night, and the Muppet Show. I turned on the Muppet Show. It was Rich Little. I just watched the very, very beginning of it, and I forget sometimes just how powerful and how absolutely fun the beginning of the Muppet Show was. And I didn't realize that it was as old as it was. It actually ran from 76 to, I think, 81 or 82. And I mostly remember John Denver. I couldn't even find the John Denver episodes there after the first season. It's really, really interesting to go back in time and see who they had on the show. People like Vincent Price, people like Rich Little. Rich Little, who is a great guy. I have met him. I think he's still alive, right? And let me know in the chat, because if he has passed and I missed it, I don't. I think is he still alive? He did a show in Branson, Missouri, when I was back there, and I met him, and he was super, super, super nice. There are mornings when I forget how old I am. Then I get, yep, it's yeah, yeah. DL Fendel is in the chat. Have you ever met Rich Little? Did you ever work with him? He's a nice guy, super nice guy. At least when I met him, I don't know, I didn't work with him or anything, so I don't really know. Now, Tony Orlando, who I know pretty well, is very nice to me, and apparently not very nice to work with or work for. So that's kind of funny. So DL Fendel is in the chat. We got a lot of good people. People are still coming in the door. We got a lot of stories to get to today. Also, I want to let you know what the goal is. We talked about celebrations. Of course, when we do the supers, we're going to celebrate those. For the super chat goal, it is 99 cents or up. Okay, so if you can't afford it, don't do it. But if you can, that's great. We appreciate every little bit we get here on the channel. We thank you for that, because you are the greatest audience on YouTube. And if we get the goal, we're gonna let you pick again where I go, and it might be tomorrow. So you're gonna be able to pick from the Disney parks, from SeaWorld, from Universal. I don't know how many. Apparently, in when I'm doing a poll, it can only be like 4 choices, but I will make it so that you guys can choose specifically where I end up going to. But yeah, we give 5 supers today of any level, 99 cents or over. You get to pick where I go live from next. We had a lot of fun with that last week, and I still need to get to Universal and get there when they actually do the parade, and it's not canceled like 5 minutes before it starts like it was last time. Yeah, Vincent Price and Alice Cooper were 2 of my favorite Muppet episodes. It's so fun, man. And so I went back to watch the Muppet Show, and the reason I did it is because of Muppet Vision 3D. The coolest thing about Muppet Vision 3D is you sat in the theater that, obviously it wasn't the actual theater, but it felt like you were in the theater that housed the Muppet Show. And I loved that aspect of it. It is as immersive as being able to feel like you're getting on the Millennium Falcon, but that's a little bit different because they did not engineer that situation very well. At Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, it's really weird, because when you step into the area where you're supposed to be on the Millennium Falcon, yes, that looks like you're on the Millennium Falcon set at least, but you don't enter that way, and that it feels really, really weird. So you're entering, and over to your right, you see the Millennium Falcon sitting there, and you see how they've got the ramp down, the door open, the ramp down, and you see how you should walk into the Millennium Falcon, but that's not the way you go. How weird it is. So it's like, okay, so there's the Millennium Falcon, which I'm going into, but I'm not going into because I'm going into over here, but then I end up over there, supposedly, after going through this weird line. And but it sits up. Did are they supposed to have moved the Millennium Falcon? it's so convoluted. They just didn't do a very good job with Galaxy's Edge. It's really unfortunate because when you compare Galaxy's Edge to Harry Potter and all the stuff that they've done at Harry Potter, it's like Harry Potter just blows Galaxy's Edge away. And for me, as a Star Wars fan, at least a former Star Wars fan or Star Wars fan of the old stuff, I miss not being able to have what I really, really wanted, what most of us wanted, which was a real, true Star Wars land. Let's see. Casual rollover becomes the final scene of The Italian Job. I'm trying to remember The Italian Job's final scene. I love that movie. There are 2 Italian Jobs, right? The newer Italian Job, that's a remake of an older Italian Job movie, I think. Did meet Vincent Price, a true gent. Well, that's good to know. He seemed like a good guy. I became friends with Mark Lenard. I think that's how you pronounce his name. First met him at 8040 convention with Walter Koenig. Last time I saw and talked to him was 1993. Walter didn't ask me yet. Why does YouTube chat scroll and repeat like that sometimes? That I can't tell you. The original busting around the edge. Yeah, set. A real life Willy Wonka. Growing up in the family candy shop. Well, that's I didn't know that either. On the good ship. Lollipop, it's a quick trip to the candy shop. Let's get some stories going here. This will be fun. We have some news out of our good friends at thatparkplace.com. We're going to put it on the screen. Let's see if we can do this. I tell you what. Look at this headline, guys. That out of thatparkplace.com. Look at this headline. It's so ridiculous. Robert Downey Jr. claims Pedro Pascal being a star reaffirms my faith in our industry as public Pedro PR push continues. So at this point in time, you can see what Robert Downey Jr. is getting paid to do by Disney. Disney's like, RDJ, everybody loves you, RDJ. You were Iron Man, you made it happen, and everybody loves you. We're going to give you $70 million for every film that you do, that you appear in as Dr. Doom. What we need you to do is some booth time as for voiceover, so that you're doing some like 5 minutes of voiceover. And we'll put your face on the screen for a few minutes. You don't really have to show up. Don't worry about being there, but we're going to pay you $70 million for it. But what we do need you to do is good PR for all the people that we keep hiring that are horrible. So I need you to do good PR for Dominique Thorne and for Rachel Zegler and for Pedro Pascal. That's got to be what's going on. Is he's being paid to do PR damage control for Disney. I mean, in the comics and in the MCU, Tony Stark does own damage control, and damage control is certainly what they're trying to use him for. Robert Downey Jr. claims Pedro Pascal being a star reaffirms my faith in our industry as public Pedro PR push continues. I mean, there's Pedro, and I didn't vote for him. Oh, I will tell you what, guys, I can't say that I am going to watch Fantastic Four in the movie theater. It is likely. I don't know when I'm going to go to the movie theater next, to be honest with you. It's not likely I'm going to go see anything at the theater anytime soon. It might not be until December. It just depends. If I don't have to pay to go see a movie and I'm seeing it to review it, maybe, but there's just not F1. Dan said F1 is really good. Maybe I'll go see that. I don't know. Pedro Pascal is now officially the face of Marvel Studios. Officially, the face Marvel Studios is betting on, and Disney's PR machine, led by Robert Downey Jr., is pulling out all the stops to make sure audiences fall in line. A new Vanity Fair cover story: the Fantastic Four and Avengers Doomsday actor was showered with praise by Robert Downey Jr., who stars opposite Pascal as Dr. Doom in Marvel's next phase-defining film. Downey, long considered the heart of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, has increasingly become a kind of emergency spokesperson for the studio's more controversial projects. Yeah, it's so funny. And, it's also ironic in the sense that Downey hasn't really been able to find great success since the end of the MCU, since Endgame, in any of the projects that he's done, like Doolittle and all of those other things. I would like to see him back as Sherlock Holmes because I think he did a great job, and I thought there was supposed to be another Sherlock Holmes movie coming out. But he just, outside of being Iron Man and Tony Stark, he just hasn't found that level of success. And that's huge success. I mean, let's be honest, when the guy's getting paid $50 million a pop, he's doing fine, right, with those movies. So great. He doesn't need anything else. Look, if I were in his position, I'll be honest with you, I would totally retire. I would take my money, move to the farm, live off that, give it to my kids in a trust fund, all that. Pascal's slow trajectory to becoming a household name who is on a wildly hot streak kind of reaffirms my faith in our industry, Downey told Vanity Fair. It's kind of weird that he would say that. And all I'm saying is Pedro Pascal is, yes, he's become a household name. Has he become a household name for all the right reasons? Eek. I don't know. You let me know in the chat. Caledon 910. Caledon is not worth the money Disney is paying him. Okay. Yes, he was great in Oppenheimer. He actually was fantastic in Oppenheimer. However, what I'm saying is that he wasn't the star of Oppenheimer. Let me put it that way. You are correct, though. That was excellent work. And RDJ, to be fair, he is a really, really good actor outside of Tony Stark. You give him good material like Oppenheimer, and he does a really, really good job with it. All right, let me see what Jill Powers' comment is. I talked it over with John. I decided not to go to the Texas Comic-Con in favor of going to see Superman on July 11th. 7/7 is my birthday. I will see if I can do a review. Well, that would be cool. And Jill, if you ever want to come on the show, please let me know. If you're on X, you can send me a message on X or just email me your contact info. So that'd be very, very cool. Especially as I'm trying to get panelists for that night show that I have coming up. I want to get panelists, not a panelist, if that makes any sense, you guys. And I appreciate that kind of help. Canadian Family Life is here. Hello, Tiffany. How are you doing? Yes, of course, RDJ is a paid shill. Look, if all you have to do is shill and get a lot of money for it, why not do it? When you're in your position he is, he has earned it. Let me get this back up on the screen so that we can continue. Yes, happy early birthday, Jill. And Average Carmageddon, aloha. So there are two currently filming Avengers Doomsday at Pinewood Studios in the UK, aiming for a December 18th, 2026 release. According to the profile, Downey has been hosting homework days at his home, helping the cast bond and prep for major scenes. Pascal refused to elaborate on what these gatherings actually entail, responding only with a coy, very good question. Pascal's MCU debut comes next month in Fantastic Four First Steps, where he'll play Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic. And I got to tell you, I think I have to be honest. The only reason I believe they hired Pedro Pascal to play Reed Richards is because Marvel knew it would be quite a stretch. You see what I did there? It's Mr. Fantastic in it. Never mind. Yeah. The backlash to his casting was immediate, with fans questioning his age, appearance, and fit for the role. Pascal himself acknowledged the wave of criticism, citing complaints that he is too old, not right, and needs to shave. Or at least grow the full beard. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily, like, lately, I'm pretty sure Reed Richards has had a full beard. He's like mustachioed, but, you know, give him the full beard look, and that wouldn't be so bad. He just doesn't. To me, there's nothing about him that says Reed Richards. So, not to mention the fact there's just so many other actors out there. Please hire somebody other than Pedro Pascal to do something, for goodness sake. This isn't the first time Robert Downey Jr. has been tapped as Marvel's credibility booster. In the last week, Downey staged not one but two separate PR moments promoting the heavily criticized Ironheart Disney Plus series, which we will get to a little bit later. With audiences rejecting the show's writing, tone, and messaging, Downey appeared on Good Morning America, a Disney-owned show, in a painfully staged surprise appearance to praise star Dominique Thorne and express full-throated support for the project. Then Marvel staged a PR stunt with Downey calling Thorne on the phone to congratulate her on the premiere of the show. Both moves were widely viewed as a calculated effort to resuscitate the show's image by attaching it to the most beloved figure in MCU history, which he is, and I don't disparage him that. Now Marvel is hoping Downey can work with the same magic for Pedro Pascal. However, it is funny, and I'll get to this later in Ironheart, how much they put down Tony Stark, and it's a lot. It's a lot. But Pascal's public image isn't just controversial; it's baffling. And this is the heart of the story. Is this by Marvin, by the way? Yes, it is. I thought it was by Marvin. It's by Marvin Montanaro, guys. Yeah, this and he's great at writing this stuff. That's why I covered it because I'm not the writer. Marvin is. But Pascal's public image isn't just controversial; it's baffling. From Comic-Cons to social media, his behavior has repeatedly drawn scrutiny. At San Diego Comic-Con, a now infamous clip shows him holding Vanessa Kirby's hand and rubbing her arm in what many viewed as an overly familiar gesture that at the time was explained away as Pascal being nervous in front of a large crowd and needing physical touch support from his co-star. Kirby later tried to spin the moment as a comforting display of friendship and solidarity, painting herself as the one who needed the support, but the optics didn't sit well with the portion of the fandom, especially as other criticisms mounted. Actress Dakota Johnson also shared an eyebrow-raising anecdote during a recent press tour, stating that Pascal encouraged her to start an adult subscription site and wiggle a toe for money. He also recently revealed that on the set, he regularly steals and wears her clothes. Ew. The comments were delivered with a laugh, but many found it deeply unsettling. Yeah, raiding women's closets and putting on the clothes for fun seems a little off to me. On top of that, Pascal's aggressive political rhetoric has created even more distance between him and segments of the Marvel fan base. Most notably, he's repeatedly cursed out conservatives and called Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling a heinous loser. What a bully. God. I don't like bullies, and this guy is a bully. For her views on gender issues. This is despite Rowling being a survivor of personal trauma and outspoken defender of women's spaces. J.K. Rowling is a feminist who defends women. So him going after her is attacking her. That is a huge bullying move on his part. His insult drew immediate backlash, with critics accusing him of attacking someone who speaks from lived experience. Why is Marvel pushing him so hard? Because they have no choice. With phase 5 and 6 in crisis after several flops, Disney needs to manufacture a new central figure for its next generation lineup, and fast. Fantastic Four and Avengers Doomsday are supposed to anchor the future of the franchise. Whether the fans are on board or not, Pascal has already been chosen. Bad move, Marvel, bad move. Now it's up to Marvel, the most trusted spokesperson, RDJ, to sell Pedro Pascal to the world as he licks his rainbow popsicle glow stick. Ugh, gross, gross. Whether the strategy succeeds or backfires remains to be seen, but one thing's clear: the Pedro Pascal PR push is real and it's only just beginning. That's so scary, honestly. Like, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it gives me the heebie-jeebies, the icky wickies. Pam Empson is here. Hail, chat. Hail, Pam. Good to see you in the chat. Yes, indeed. Pascal gives me the ick. Rowling is very much a leftist, but she's not right about criticizing the Gestapo. Yeah, it's, man, I tell you, they attack their own. What is the phrase from the Bible? Those that live by the sword will die by the sword. It's, to each their own, but people also on the left, they seem to eat their own. That is for sure. Let me know in the chat, guys. Some of you have already chimed in, which I appreciate. Oh, Pam says she just woke up. Sad I missed you last. Me? I don't think you missed me last night. Oh, you meant when I said hi on my wife's live stream. I said hi to you, and that's okay. I was in the chat, so it was fine. We do have a goal. Let me remind everybody of the goal that we have right now on the show to this morning. We have a goal. It's a bit of a unique goal. Well, not that unique. It's a goal of 5. The 5 super chats that we have, if you guys want to contribute, it will get me out into the park for a live stream. And you guys will get to decide where I go. Now, here's what I'm thinking if we don't meet the goal today. If we don't meet the goal today, I will play Summer Sizzle in its full length. The whole Summer Sizzle, just the whole reel, and I'll play it over and over again. No, I'm just kidding. Actually can't do that, but I'm not going to draw Summer Sizzle out as a punishment. But if we do get the goal, you guys will choose which park that I go to next, whether that happens to be seeing perhaps you can get me to go to Tom Sawyer's Island and Liberty Square once before they shut it down. What is it, like at the end of next week or the week after? God, we only have a few weeks left of Tom Sawyer's Island and Liberty Bell. That is so sad. Turning in my wrench right now if you play it. You got to have motivation, Tom. aggressive negotiations, Ron. That's funny. Oh, I'm just kidding with you guys. No, we try to be positive here. So I want you guys to be able to choose where it is that I go to next when I'm live and out and about. I'm sure that a lot of new subscribers to my channel would like me to go to Buc-ee's at Daytona Beach, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to venture that far. I don't know if I can live stream inside of a Buc-ee's or if that would be allowed or would matter. But anyhow, but you could choose for me to go on the Liberty Bell, Tom Sawyer's Island. Once again, Gatorland, that's a possibility because I have been looking into that. And by the way, I can walk to Gatorland from my house, DL. So, yeah. I turned off the pro show when he plays the popsicle song. It's time. What if it were a jazzy? Think about this, like, right? It's time for that summer sizzle. Yeah, cool as a cherry popsicle. Beach ball parties red as a start. I can see gators from my house. Yeah, like I can see Russia from my house. I can see gators from my house sometimes. You never know when you're in Florida. There could be a gator in the backyard knocking at your door, and I'm not even kidding about that. But yeah, it could be Liberty Bell, Tom Sawyer's Island, Magic Kingdom. We could go to Epcot and see this whole what is it? Cool kids summer thing that's going on there. Could be back at Universal Islands of Adventure or SeaWorld and see the new Soarin' ride that they have at SeaWorld. I haven't seen that yet, so I got to go somewhere. But yeah, just let me know if we get the super chat goal where you'd like me to go, and I will go where you want me to go. Yeah, so Jill, what's going on my channel right now is I've been putting up some Bucky's shorts, and I was taken by a huge surprise because the first Bucky's short that I put up, which is basically a 15-second snippet. You know how you can take your videos and you can be like, okay, I'm going to snippet this and put it up as a short. It's a 15-second snippet from one of my vlog videos and had no views. Like I had 100-something views on the vlog. And so I did the snippet and I put it up, and it's got 1.4 some odd million views now, and is probably on its way to 1.5 million views. And it kind of freaked me out and took me by surprise because I was definitely not expecting that. So yeah, that was bizarre. So apparently I need to do more on Bucky's and yeah, and SeaWorld would be fun to see. So you guys let me know if we get closer to the goal. Make the supers too. You know, I would love it if they're, as far as interesting about that, not just for the support, but actually for the story. Yeah, the algorithm I think the algorithm loves Bucky's, apparently, is what it seems like. Let's go back to thatparkplace.com. And you're gonna love this. We have another Rachel Zegler story. Don't you guys love hearing about Rachel Zegler? Is she not just the one beautiful young lady she's so nice and so sweet, and we just love to hear about her. Yeah, let's put this one up on the screen. Out of thatparkplace.com, but by our good friend Marvin Montanero, Rachel Zegler rumored for another race-swapped classical musical role as Julie Andrews' Maria in The Sound of Music. The hills are alive with the sound of music. Sega. I might get to that. I might or might not. We'll see. We'll see what we get to here. We have time this morning, so. Rachel Zegler rumored for another race-swapped classical musical role as Julie Andrews' Maria in Sound of Music. The funny thing about this is I was thinking about Rachel Zegler. What kind of roles is she perfect for? She actually would be a very good Belle. I'm just going to be flat out honest. The type of character that Belle is truly like a feminist icon type character. And, she's the one who saves the beast, and she's the one who helps defeat Gaston and all that kind of stuff. Like she's actually a, kind of a boss lady hero that worked. And I think that would work for Rachel Zegler. I also think that she'd be perfect for Rizzo in Grease. So I don't know if Grease is playing anywhere. Maybe in a touring show of Grease, they can cast her as Rizzo. She'd be perfect. Not Sandy. She'd be horrible as Sandy, but she'd be perfect as Rizzo. Rachel Zegler may be gearing up for her next big leap into musical theater, this time by reportedly stepping into the iconic role of Maria von Trapp in The Sound of Music. The part, immortalized by Julie Andrews in the 1965 film adaptation, would mark yet another instance of Zegler being attached to a race-swapped role from a beloved property. And for some, that's becoming a curious pattern. Now, I got to say this. The caveat is that, honestly, in theater, that happens a lot. It really does. It's just theater is a different monster than movies. it's live action. People go to see the person. It's just a whole different thing. And you have a different crowd. A theater crowd is a different crowd too. So, according to Deadline, Zegler's well-reviewed turn as Eva Perón in Evita at the London Palladium has ignited what they describe as intense talk of her playing Maria in a Sound of Music revival at the Lincoln Center. The site is quick to note that it's not in any shape or form confirmed, but the rumor is now wild, especially with Zegler's stage presence receiving rare praise following the PR disaster that was Disney's Snow White. Should Zegler land the part, this would be her second high-profile case of being cast in a classic musical role originally portrayed by a white actress, the first obviously being Snow White. Her first breakout performance in Hollywood was as Maria in Steven Spielberg's West Side Story, a character of Puerto Rican heritage, while Zegler herself is Colombian and Polish. Her casting in that film drew praise in Hollywood circles, but of course the film performed abysmally at the box office. Why? Because nobody wanted a remake of West Side Story. You just didn't need it. Now the Sound of Music presents another battleground in that conversation, with Zegler now taking on the race-swapped role of a real person who actually existed. Maria von Trapp. The musical, based on the true story of the Von Trapp family, is set in Austria during the rise of Germany prior to World War II. Maria, a nun in training turned governess, helps bring music and unity back to a broken household with songs like My Favorite Things, Do Re Mi, and Climb Every Mountain. The film became one of the most cherished cinematic musicals of all time. Replacing Julie Andrews in any context is no small feat, but doing so in a way that changes the ethnic background of such a culturally specific character is guaranteed to raise eyebrows. While there's no official casting confirmation yet, Deadline's suggestion that this could follow Zegler's run in Evita implies the idea is being floated among industry insiders, adding to the intrigue. The same Deadline article veers into promotional territory. The writer waxes poetic about Zegler's voice rising above le merde. Is it le merde or is it merde? While calling Snow White a film that should never ever have been greenlighted in the first place, it almost reads as damage control, an effort to reframe Zegler as a misunderstood talent rather than the public relations liability she became during the Snow White rollout. That campaign saw her alienate fans by mocking the original film, calling it outdated, hitting at a complete overhaul of the story's romantic and traditional themes. The backlash was swift and tremendously damaging. In the wake of that mess, Zegler quietly retreated from Hollywood and found refuge on the London stage. Early reports suggest Evita was struggling to sell tickets. Meanwhile, her upcoming slate of film work appears sparse, to say the least. Zegler is attached to a low-budget comedy drama titled She Gets It From Me, where she'll star alongside Marissa Tomei. IMDb currently lists no other future projects in that vacuum. Rumors like the Sound of Music gain more traction, especially when they conveniently position Zegler as triumphant and in demand. Of course, it's also worth noting that nothing about the Sound of Music revival has been formally announced. Not casting, not a director, not even whether such a revival is officially happening. It's possible the entire rumor is little more than PR buzz intended to generate interest in Evita and rehabilitate Zegler's image by connecting her to yet another legendary role. Still, the trend is hard to ignore. Zegler's become something of a go-to name with modern Hollywood and Broadway look to repurpose classic characters with updated cultural or ethnic identities. Whether that speaks to her talent scarcity of suitable roles for the young actress of color or industry obsessed with provocative casting choices is up for debate. For now, Zegler's Evita run continues through early September, and unless Lincoln Center Theater announces something concrete, the Sound of Music Rachel Zegler revival remains just a whisper on the wind. But if it happens, expect the cultural conversation to reignite with Zegler once again at the center of it. Yes, it may or may not happen. I am leaning towards probably not. Again, I think there are roles for which Rachel Zegler would be perfect. And I think that if you take her and you cast her in those roles on Broadway, or at least on the stage, she could, in fact, revive her career. However, I think the best way to revive her career is to back out of performing altogether, other than to do perhaps live singing appearances, maybe opening for other singers, something like that. Or, honestly, give her a waiting job, give her a serving job somewhere where she actually has to learn some humility. That would be awesome. That'd be really, really awesome. She needs to learn humility. If she does that, she has a chance of making a comeback. If she doesn't, I don't think she works in. I don't think that she makes a comeback at all. DL Fendel says the recent New York election says Broadway is toast. Ron, the patrons are all escaping with their diminished nest eggs. Yeah, I'm not following it all that much, but please, New Yorkers, we just want to let you know that Florida is full. So, if you want to go to some place where there's refuge, try West Virginia. West Virginia's I think Florida, Tennessee, and Texas are all pretty much full. West Virginia is open. Julie Andrews has operatic range. Zegler isn't that talented. She can sing, but hardly. So here's the thing, Jill. I don't know if you noticed this as a musical theater person. I have noticed that when she belts, every time she belts, she goes slightly flat and then climbs into the note. I don't like that. That's always a big musical no-no, which tells me that Zegler really requires a lot more training vocally. I mean, I would too if I went back to trying to sing, but you got to have that vocal coach. She definitely needs. Sorry, folks, Florida's closed. The gator out front should have told you. Yeah, exactly. I agree. There's too many people in Florida right now. When I moved here, it was great. I moved here in 2009, and it was really, really a good time to move to Florida. Yeah, so true. Basically, as belt voices go, she's got suspenders, or maybe she needs suspenders. I'm trying to see. Now there's I'm trying to find that story about Sega. Yeah, okay. Looks like I got plenty of time to do what I want to do. All right. Somebody suggested the Sega story, so we're going to put that one on the screen. This is for you. Sega theme park project in the works, led by Sonic the Hedgehog attractions. And this is by our good friend Raven Redgrave over there at thatparkplace.com for all the news that should be fun. And if it's about Sega and it's about Sonic, it's got to be fun, right? Sega. If Sega does a theme park and they don't have a Zaxxon ride, I will be very, very upset because we need Zaxxon and we need Super Zaxxon. On the ride. Sega is reportedly creating a theme park with Sonic the Hedgehog at the Foray. According to a report from Attractions Magazine, the project is being developed in partnership with Tokyo-based firm Katana Incorporated, and it will span everything from standalone Sonic attractions to full-scale indoor theme parks across the U.S., Europe, Japan, and South America. Wow. South America part is interesting to me. A long time coming. While this news has fans buzzing, it's not the first time Sega has hinted at ambitions beyond the console. As far back as 2016, Attractions Magazine reported that Sega Sammy Holdings was exploring indoor theme parks as part of a broader expansion into non-gaming ventures. For those unfamiliar, Sega Sammy is the parent company formed in 2004 when video game publisher Sega merged with Sammy Corporation, a major player in Japan's pachinko and amusement hardware industries. The result was a sprawling entertainment conglomerate with interest in gaming, toys, and location-based attractions. Sonic the Hedgehog. This, by the way, is a big reason why Sonic will probably not see the light of day in a Universal Park anytime soon. At the time, Sega Sammy CEO Hajime Satomi stated that branching out into theme parks and other real-world experiences was a key part of the company's long-term strategy. He even hinted that Sonic's emerging media presence, including early film plans, was just the beginning. Fast forward to 2025, and that long-term strategy appears to be accelerating following this theatrical success of Sonic the Hedgehog 3. It seems that Sega is leaning into the franchise's mainstream popularity to push forward on a more immersive level. And it's not Sega's first rodeo. This wouldn't be Sega's first foray into experiential entertainment. As Polygon pointed out in its recent coverage, Sega previously ran a series of indoor amusement parks under the Joypolis brand, which blended arcade gaming with motion simulators, VR, and theatrical experiences. Though those parks now operate under CA Sega Joypolis Limited, the legacy of interactive tech-driven attractions clearly still informs Sega's thinking. What is new this time is the scale and the exclusive focus on Sonic. While past parks incorporated a wide range of Sega properties, these new ventures appear to center entirely on the world of the Blue Blur and his extended cast of characters, including Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Shadow, Robotnik, Eggman, and more. From the early details shared by Attractions Magazine, it sounds like fans can expect obstacle course-style attractions inspired by Sonic's platforming gameplay, immersive zone-themed ride environments, and cutting-edge interactive features meant to mimic the franchise's signature speed and energy. And it's a global strategy. Sega's global ambitions aren't subtle, as evident in the report. The company sees these parks as a brand expansion strategy. The U.S. is first priority, with undisclosed locations already under discussion, but other key regions like Europe, Japan, and South America also in the pipeline. It's a strategic move at a time when global entertainment companies are increasingly blurring the lines between media and physical experience. Nintendo's collaboration with Universal Studios for Super Nintendo World proved that game franchises can translate into wildly successful park attractions. Sega's new push suggests it's ready to chase that same success, albeit with a very different style. It's hard not to compare Sega's new ventures to what Nintendo has built, but the tone and pacing of Sonic offer a different experience. While Mario's world lends itself to whimsy and exploration, Sonic is about speed, adrenaline, and kinetic chaos. That sounds like something that I might not actually like all that much, but because I'm an older person and I like peace. Slow down. While Sega doesn't have the resources of Universal or Disney, it has something just as valuable: a mascot who's never quite played by the rules and thrives in spaces that reward boldness. Full speed ahead. As of now, Sega hasn't confirmed opening dates or theme park locations, and no concept art or blueprints have been released. But given the caliber of the sources reporting this and the existing partnership with Katana Inc., it's safe to say this isn't just a blue sky idea. Something is coming around the corner. Whether the company starts small with touring attractions or dives into building anchor parks remains to be seen, but it's apparent that Sega wants back into the spotlight, and it's betting that a nostalgic-fueled, high-speed Sonic theme park experience is the way to do it. If executed well, it could be one of the most distinct entries in the gaming to theme park pipeline yet. What do you guys think of Sega possibly doing theme parks? Let me know in the chat. Who's got Sega? So apparently, Dan, from what I'm reading here, neither Disney or Nintendo will have Sega. DL says, got to deal with a laughingly call my real life. See y'all later. See you later, DL. Thank you for coming in and being in the chat today. People are saying bye to DL. Yeah. This is just Disney Quest. It could be, I could see. But the thing about Disney Quest was awesome. Uh, Again, another mistake on the part of Disney. And I have been saying for a long time that the building that was the NBA experience that replaced Disney Quest should be utilized for a full out Disney museum. I don't think they'll do it because the company no longer wants to honor Walt Disney or his vision. Bob Iger hates Walt Disney, and hates Walt Disney's ideologies, hates Walt Disney's vision. Is very the Bob Iger somehow became the CEO of a company whose founder is the polar opposite of Bob Iger. I don't know how that happened, but um, what I would love if I were CEO of Disney would be like one of the first things I announced: a Walt Disney Museum going into the NBA experience. And what it would be is a museum about Walt and his life and how the Walt Disney World came to fruition via Walt Disney's vision at the end of his life and how it developed and how it changed over time. It would be a place where we could highlight the things that are coming to Walt Disney World in the future, and also a place where you could, through virtual reality, experience those retired attractions of the past. Unfortunately, a retired attraction like the Liberty Bell and the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer's Island are not the kind of things that you can showcase in a virtual reality experience. You have to go there to experience that. The fact that those are going away is unfortunate and quite ridiculous. And there is another story that I want to get to. Speaking of Tom Sawyer's Island, speaking of the Liberty Bell, and speaking of Rivers of America, man. And just a reminder, by the way, if we do have any supers or anything that come in, we do like to celebrate those. For those that are coming in now, I know we haven't done a major celebration yet today. We'd like to have a cause to, but what does the celebration look like when we have it? It looks a little something like this.
Is it too much? Too much? It's just perfect!
Oh, this is just the best of my scene. This story coming up right now. I tell you what, as of right now, we know for a fact Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer's Island, the Liberty Bell, all designed and put into the parks by Walt Disney himself. His legacy is about to be destroyed. And if the Disney people that are in charge right now of the company aren't destroying it fast enough, well, apparently Disney park goers are. And this is, I just hate putting this story up on the screen. It's got to go up there. And this is out of thatparkplace.com. Bookmark it if you haven't done so yet, but you're going to want to bookmark That Park Place for all the news that should be fun. This is by our good friend LW Ghost. Walt Disney World vandalism on Tom Sawyer Island is why we can't have nice things. An editorial by LW Ghost. Tom Sawyer Island, there it is. This is really sad. There are guests at Walt Disney World who are here's what happens. When people are in the minority, when they don't have the popular opinion, they realize the one thing they do need to be, since they don't have the numbers, they have to be loud. They have to be obnoxious. They have to get in your face. all of which nobody likes. You never win popular opinion with it, but they do it time and time again throughout history. You kind of just want to pummel them, but you can't. Anyway, this is what they're doing at Walt Disney World right now. There's a good picture of Tom Sawyer Island. Guests are reportedly committing acts of vandalism on Walt Disney World property. This is why we can't have nice things anymore. We've all seen the diminishment and downright anti-family nature of so many of Disney's recent theme park developments and announcements. The bars, the alcohol, it's so anti-family right now. We've also seen their endless timetables for new things and alleged renews of old ones, and generally reacted with dismay, and if the attendance numbers are any indication, rejection of the less stuff for a lot more money pricing and perks plan of the park experience in 2025. But frankly, my friends, we cannot totally absolve ourselves of our peers at the least from the downgrading of the whole experience of going to the parks, because let's face it, people have been behaving badly in ways that would have been unthinkable not that long ago. I think this is what happens when people pay more money to get into the park and they don't want kids around, which is really strange because they're in a kids park. Why? And the behaving badly ensues because they believe they're entitled to it for how much they pay to get in. It's wrong. It's ridiculous. It's bad. Sure, we've seen downright brawls between warring families with security, either late to the party or non-existent. Yep, we've seen drink around the world people intoxicated to the point of public disgust, and not just at Epcot, as more and more cheap booze and faux fruit juice, $20 cocktails proliferate Disney's profit. Yes, we've seen defecation and worse by guests who no longer seem to have the propriety and social manners of human grown-ups. Yeah, that word was in there. I'm sorry, but it's true, and it's gross, and it's sad. We all know that parenting in our modern era hasn't been what it used to be for so many, and such things resonate throughout society, whether it is in rude behavior in public places, abuse of servers in restaurants and shops. Yes, I was one of those servers who did, in fact, get abused from time to time. And the endless graffitiizing of our city streets, businesses, byways, and homes. But to me, this story says more than it should about how some people have simply lost respect for their surroundings, their fellow citizens and guests, and by extension, themselves. Got it. That's weird. Sorry, I thought I heard something. We all know that despite fan anger and frustration, Disney is removing Walt's classic Rivers of American Tom Sawyer's Island from Walt Disney World, with the closing of the area for such quote-unquote renovation coming in a few weeks. But in an act of self-expression, too commonplace in our world and yet glaringly disgusting in what used to be our refuge from what world and reality's more sharply edged experiences, we now found that guests have been defacing the parks by tagging them with their own dubious artistic contributions in pen, ink, and even with knives. Are they getting knives into the theme park? It's not supposed to be knives in the theme park. On Tom Sawyer's Island, in a scene from the original Mark Twain books that school kids used to read but now do not, there is a Tom Loves Becky paint work on a fence in mid whitewash, or at least it used to be white paint alone. Now, more than one guest has decided to improve it by putting their own names on the paint in red Sharpie, pen ink, and other modern imprimaturs. If you read further in the article, you'll see where actual living trees in the parks have been carved with initials deeply cutting into the bark. Jeez. My first thought when seeing these incidents was how long must it have taken them to do this, and did anyone else around them or object, or any cast members intervene before their Walt Disney World vandalism was completed? Seems not. People just tolerate this stuff, including people paid to stop it, like cast members and security, because, Well, confronting such vandals is, I guess, harder than just turning the other cheek. And yes, by Disney itself, in the case of Tom Sawyer's Island, is about to do more damage as they destroy that part of the park, graffiti and all. So who cares, right? Oh, geez. But here's the larger point. All of us over a certain age, and certainly that age is far lower than your wizened scrivener here, not only would have found such an act to be outrageous and worth intervening to prevent, even the idea of doing such a thing would never have crossed our minds because, well, good people and decent citizens and guests of the park just plain would not do such a low-class, destructive, ugly thing. We would have been shocked at the very thought of anyone doing this, as we would at a visitor from Mars landing in our backyard asking to be taken to our leader. It just would not have happened in our lives, communities, and certainly not at the happiest place on Earth that once were. So sadly, perhaps the changes for the worst and removal of our childhood delights and the general degradation of the park going experience that is coming along with it are just kind of corporate version of this vandalism ethos. Maybe, in fact, we're getting the parks we deserve and deserve to pay through the nose for. Maybe in a world where parenting is denigrated or dismissed as old-fashioned in so many of our major metropoli, this is all we should expect in the future. Oh, that's depressing. Come on, Lou. Or maybe it is time to reclaim decorum, our heritage of decency, our traditions of concern for strangers and our fellow humans, and to start by saying no to this behavior whenever and wherever we encounter it. Such efforts on other issues have worked in the past, and I can think of a brilliant example. Once upon a time, it was a regular comedic theme that drunks were funny. Many made careers out of portraying them. Genial clowns like Red Skelton added tipsy lushes to their selection of comedic characters, and we enjoyed them even while never taking them seriously. Smooth operators like Dean Martin pretended to work in a fog of alcohol as part of their overall song and smiles acts, and we chuckled along. More blatant comics, whose entire act was being drunk like Foster Brooks, made whole careers out of such a thing. But when alcoholic abuse led to broken families, serious danger on our highways, and actual ending of lives and injury, a group sprung up called Mothers Against Drunk Driving, aka MADD MAD, and it just plain wasn't funny anymore. And although it took years, society listened. Didn't expect to eradicate inebriation, and the total ballon issue went off the deep end, were treated with righteous scorn by those who had a sense of history, i.e. prohibition's failures. But we did demand that we as a society owned up to the downside of damage instead of just making fun of it. And those characters and acts, which were so common, just plain disappeared because we as a society, with MADD's help, just plain have made a choice that wasn't funny anymore, and lives were saved for real. So why not start such a movement against the graffiti, public fighting, the loud intrusive behavior in our public places, and especially our theme parks and other family venues? Yes, because remember, the kids learn by example. Every time a good family takes the risk and pays the price to visit a park and sees this stuff going on, the example being set for their kids is that society's okay with it. And that way, my friends, lies utter decay. Oh. We should want good things, even great ones, from those who entertain us for top dollar, but it wouldn't hurt and might even help if we cleaned up our act and deserved them too. And yeah, I have to agree with LW Ghost on this one. Jane says this is ridiculous. Disney is changing so fast. Example, my Snow White movie. It's just sad that people would cause this, though I think Disney is bored. Old, yeah, come on. Yeah. Someone tell the critical drinker his days are numbered. Well, he's Scottish. I think it's a little bit different. I love critical drinker. He's funny, so funny. Yeah. It's really sad. we've seen so much poor behavior in the parks in the last couple of years. But we do want to get to our top story. And our top story is actually my own personal opinion, part of it. I'm going to balance it with our good friend Marvin's opinion. I don't plan on cutting this into a separate video. So you guys are getting this exclusively here during the live. Or if you're watching this on the replay and you fast forwarded to this particular part, you're going to get my review of Ironheart. I have watched the first 3 episodes. I can't imagine that I will watch any more of this after what I put myself through yesterday. I will tell you, for having watched Ironheart, just for that alone, I deserve some super chats. Because, come on, guys. I watched it so that you don't have to, and let me tell you, you would not want to. Ironheart's bad. I watched it because there is a Marvel character in Ironheart that I wanted to see how he played out. So far, I haven't gotten everything from the character that I want to see yet, but I just don't think that I can watch anymore. The character is the Hood. Dumpster fire bad. Ironheart. Now, I will tell you, it's bad in such a different way that She-Hulk was bad. I mean, here are the really, really awful things that Marvel has put out, some of which I watched. I watched She-Hulk all the way through. Why did I watch She-Hulk all the way through? Because Daredevil was in it. And what they did to Daredevil was an insult to Daredevil and his character and to the actor portraying Daredevil. She-Hulk was awful. Agatha all along was awful. I can't do it, Dan. I can't put myself through that again. That's disgusting. Sorry. She-Hulk was awful. I will tell you what. I'll tell you what. If I get, I could make that a goal for the show. 5 super chats, but I would have to make that goal. Every one of those super chats would have to be $5, and if I got $5 or more super chats, then I would do a Mystery Science Theater of watching Ironheart. But it's bad. I don't want anybody to even have to watch it to hear commentary on it. It really is that bad. But it's Echo was bad. Agatha all along was bad. She-Hulk was awful. Secret Invasion was horrible. I mean, so this is so, it's in line with all of that stuff, and a lot of the movies too. I can't believe the MCU has done this to himself. If you want to talk about shooting yourself in the foot, this is literally cutting your foot off. It's so bad. So I'm watching it, and first of all, you should know that it's basically starts off with a gang of DEI hires, and they're all criminals. And Ironheart becomes a criminal. And what's so weird about it is, like, didn't she just come from Wakanda, who has basically infinite financial resources? So her whole deal, Riri Williams' whole deal is that she gets expelled from MIT, fairly expelled. Probably should have been expelled long before this. She goes back to Chicago. It's so weird to me, that premise. Right after coming off of a movie where she had the help from Wakanda, and can she not just call up the people she knows in Wakanda and get their help again? Financially, she wants to stay at MIT so she can build out her Ironheart suit the way she wants it with everything, blah, blah, blah. Right. So But instead of turning to Wakanda, which is where she should have turned to, she goes back home to Chicago where she has no money. And then then the whole rest of the movie, our show, is she's complaining about money in so much that she joins a criminal gang. The criminal gang is literally ruled by Satan. And I'm not kidding you. So you've got this character called the Hood, who is basically been taken over by an evil dude. He basically works with Mephisto, whether he knows it or not. I don't know if that they've made it clear yet that that's where his power source is coming from. But this hood that he wears and the junk that's on his back and all the bad stuff he's going through is because he's working with the literal devil, which I think in MCU is Mephisto. And then you have a bunch of DEI hires that is all about identity politics, but they're all bad. And the funny thing is, and this is totally ironic to me, it's very, very ironic that that they would put all of these DEI hires in this position, throw them into this show, and make them all horrible people. Like, they're all really awful people. They are unsavory characters. They are characters that do not belong in a functioning society. They're all bad. They're all evil. They drag Riri Williams into it, who I guess is supposed to not be evil, but she chooses that, and she chooses to be a criminal with them. And my thought is, if you're going to do this with identity politic people, wouldn't you want to show them as good? No, you're showing these people as, I mean, it's an accurate reflection of society, but it's like bad for the marginalized people that you're trying to give voice to, because you're showing kind of the reality of society, that these marginalized people turn into bad people. And maybe that's why they're marginalized. I don't know, but it's like art imitates life and vice versa. Yeah, it's really weird. It's really, really weird. Yeah, it's bizarre world. Let me put this on the screen for you. This is Marvin Montanero's review. It's so bad. Now here's the thing. There are scenes in it that make it a little bit more watchable than like She-Hulk, and to me, the worst Marvel property yet on Disney Plus has been Agatha All Along. Agatha All Along was just slightly more agonizing to watch than this. But I don't know that I have to watch all of this, so it won't be so bad for me. But yeah, Ironheart episodes 1 through 3 review. It's so bad. Really isn't. I will say that I probably liked this, and when I say liked, I don't mean liked, but you'll see a little bit more than Marvel did, because I don't think it's the worst thing that Marvel has done. I think it's in the category of all the worst things that they've done, which is a lot, but I don't think it's the worst. I still think Agatha All Along is the worst. That's my calling, but this is pretty bad. There really isn't a way to review Ironheart outside of just calling it what it is: bad. It's a bad show. It's bad on every level, from lazy bad cinematography to lackluster bad graphics, bad one performances, bad writing. Ironheart is the culmination of everything that has gone wrong with Marvel television. Not just a misfire, it's the final nail. If Echo was lifeless and Secret Invasion was dull, Ironheart is downright insufferable. The show feels like the end game of the MCU, where every creative decision revolves around identity first and storytelling last, if at all. There's no subtlety, no nuance, no curiosity about heroism or conflict. Instead, what we get is a self-righteous character surrounded by a parade of unlikable people delivering one smug lecture after another. A show obsessed with tearing down legacy. Within the first 10 minutes, Ironheart makes its ideological goals crystal clear. Tony Stark, the founding icon of the MCU, is not honored or even questioned. He's dismissed outright. Riri and others assert that Stark's only value was his money, as though genius alone isn't allowed to exist unless it comes in the right identity wrapper. There's one line where Riri says she isn't going to badmouth Stark because of everything he did for the industry, but that sounds more like a concession than actual respect. Never mind the fact that for Mark 1, the Iron Man suit, and say it with me here, folks, Tony Stark Was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps. Ironheart, however, isn't interested in legacy. It's interested in revision. Riri's college expulsion plays out with cartoonish absurdity while expelling Riri. The dean of MIT delivers a bizarre speech about how they're both strong and brilliant black women. It's a line meant to elevate Riri's importance, but it lands as a laughable insertion of ideology into what should be a dramatic moment. The dialogue doesn't sound human. It sounds like it was written by a DEI consultant doing improv. And it, to be fair, it probably was. Yes, an unlikable hero with questionable morals. And I'm going to go a little step further than this to say that Riri doesn't seem to have any morals. I'll be honest with you. She's not just unrelatable, she's unlikable, she's arrogant, cold, and completely lacking in empathy. She constantly reminds the audience she doesn't want to be a hero, has no moral obligation to anyone, and is building her suits and her AI, literally, and this is true, because I can. By the way, that's her attitude. I'm not doing this to help anybody. I'm doing it because I can. And that is, in fact, the way she says it. Why are you doing this? This is how it plays out, by the way, just so you guys know. It plays out where they go, why are you doing this, Riri? And she's all like, because I can. I mean, it's narcissism 101. They've made her a narcissist 50 times, 100 times over what Tony Stark ever was. Will she have the redemption arc and the humility arc that he had? I don't think she can. I don't think Dominique Thorne could pull that off. She's just awful, like in so many ways. By the end of episode 3, oh gosh, this is. Oh, that's not strength of narcissism. Yes, indeed. Her every action is self-serving at the show insists we root for her because of her identity. I don't even know if the show's trying to get us to root for her. I don't root for her in the show. I don't feel bad for her. They try to dress it up as a narrative about her dead stepfather, but it just rings hollow. And by the end of episode 3, Riri commits a stone cold offing of a human person. There's literally no ambiguity. Yeah, it's just bad. Marvin goes on to talk about the cast of cartoonish characters, the crew. He calls it Riri's crew, but it's really the Hood's crew, and it's Shea Coulee. Every identity politic type person that you could put in it is in it, but they all look bad. He goes on to talk about the cringe writing, bizarre dialogue. Check it out on that Park Place if you want to go there to check out Marvin's article on this. But it is awful. There's just no way around the fact that it's bad. If you guys want to watch Ironheart, do so. Do so to your own potential detriment, because if you watch it, it might make you feel sick to your stomach. It might hurt your brain. I would highly recommend against watching this. Go watch an old episode of Friends. You'll be happier. Go watch something fun or funny. The sad part is everything that is come. It's just like Star Wars. The difference between Star Wars and the MCU is Disney actually helped build the MCU into the great powerhouse that it is before tearing it down after 2020. And that's all they've done since 2020 is everything that the MCU was, they have torn down and maybe made it worse. Yeah. Did they make a bet how quickly they can tank their company? That's, certainly possible. But my review is simply, guys, don't watch it. Go enjoy something else. Maybe the new Superman movie will be good. I have no hope for that either, because it's not a Zack Snyder thing with me, by the way. Henry Cavill embodied the role of Superman They didn't give him anything to do as Clark Kent. Unfortunately, they really hurt his character with the way they had him portray Clark Kent. Bad writing. The way this new Superman is written, he's angry all the time. That's not a Superman trait. That doesn't even make any sense. So I've got a lot of issues with what I'm seeing from the new Superman 2. I don't know. I don't think it's superhero fatigue, but I will tell you this: superheroes are not being written correctly these days with anything that's coming out. And it's sad. Deadpool and Wolverine, will it be the last interesting? I mean, I don't like it being an R-rated super movie that could be a superhero movie that could be the last decent superhero movie that's come out, and it might be it. I'm not interested in Fantastic Four. I don't have an interest in this new Superman, and yeah. I'm just I don't want to point out. I'm looking at things in the chat. I hope everything is okay with you guys. Anyhow, we got to get going. I got to send you over to Culture Bear. Let's play his little thing before we send you off. A little Culture Casino. And thank you guys so much for being here today. We have new videos out on the channel. We should have hopefully one out tonight. If not tonight, it'll be tomorrow. And yeah, I will be back here. That is the plan, at least right now. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. And until then, thank you so much for coming in and checking this one out today. And we will see you real soon. Bye, everybody. Ciao. Thank you. Bye. Ciao.